Assalamu alaikum. We've made it to day 3 in our Ramadan fast. It's getting easier, right? And it will continue to be easier, and the days are flying by. So we have to use our time in the best manner, which is understanding the words of Allah. Today we have 2 more verses, ayat, of Quran, starting with Surah Al-An'am, verse 107. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولو شاء الله ما أشركوا وما جعلناك عليهم حفيظا وما أنت عليهم بوكيل. Allah says, وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ. You know how we say, مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ or إِن شَاءَ اللَّهُ? This word شاء, it means to will something. So Allah says, if He had willed, they would never have associated partners to Him. مَا أَشْرَكُوا. They would not have. But then He reminds you, because He knows they did. So He's saying to you, وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا. Now, Allah says, I did not appoint for you over them to be a hafid. You know, we say hafid the Quran. So what does it mean? To protect, to preserve? Yes. The word hifd the Quran. You're going to keep this Quran in your heart, and inshallah, you will be a hafid one day. Does that mean to protect only? Well, to maintain it, to preserve it. That's the root meaning of hafada, hifd, hafid, plural, hufad. Okay? So Allah is reminding you, once again, you have no power. That's what I keep telling you about those humans. Fadakir, we're going to remind. The next verse or chapter for today is Surah An-Naml, the ants. And we're going to do verse 73. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن ربك لذو الفضل على الناس ولكن أكثرهم لا يشكرون. Allah says here, verily your Lord is the essence. Dhu fadl. Fadl means to give you something useful. You know, in the Arabic dialect or even in Fusha, when you hand somebody something, you say, Faddali, Faddali. Here, have a piece of this cake, Faddali. It's really delicious. So when you say there's Fadl, it means Allah is Dhu Fadl. He's the essence of everything good that you would want in your life. For who? Ala nasi. It doesn't just say to Muslims. Ala nasi. That's why when you read Quran, you have to really understand. When Allah says something, don't you say, oh, no, He's never going to do that for those kuffar and those people in the bar and those, I don't want to say it on a sa'ima. Just know that Allah can do whatever He wants. He can give to whoever He wants. And He's all merciful and all forgiving. So don't question. Just say subhanallah and accept. Okay? So then in the last part of Surah Naml here, walakin, but aktharuhum la yashkurun. Sad. They're not grateful. So even though we just heard about Allah is du fadl ala nasi, he tells you they're not grateful. So making a quick review here of today's two verses. Walau sha'Allah. So insha'Allah. Okay? If Allah had wanted, no one would have associated. And if Allah had wanted, there would be no such thing as other, quote, religions, unquote. And then he tells you, وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا. So don't think that you're going to stop this by yourself, or that you're going to end this. Here we go, terrorism out, okay? That's why it's only through the words of Allah and the Son of the Prophet Muhammad that you're going to be able to deal with all of these isms going around. And you must be patient. And you must tawakkal ala Allah. Tawakkal. Depend alone on Allah to control these wayward people or not. And sometimes they could be set upon you. As a punishment, yes, of course, if Allah wants to punish you in this world, he can set them upon you. But always as a reminder. So the more you are reminded of Allah alone, the better you're going to feel, and the more it's going to work, because you won't get frustrated. You won't let Satan whisper in your ear, look at all you've done. Look at all the time you've wasted on these people. They don't appreciate you. Forget about it. You're useless. They're goners. No. You accept what is. You're allowed to make dua for those astray. But the key here is you istaslim liqadr. You give up knowing that Allah has decreed this. It's a very comforting way of thinking about the world. Some people say, oh, those Muslims, istaslim, that means they just give up on everything, and they just pray all day, and they just don't think about anything except Allah, and they're just lazy. You'll see people saying, oh, they don't get anywhere because they give up, and they feel there's no hope. Excuse me? No, they know their only hope is that Allah will guide whom He will. And He tells you in Quran, if He doesn't guide them, it's because they don't deserve it. And only He knows what's inside the hearts. You can never know what's inside the hearts. They're Allah's creation. He knows them very well because He created them and He maintains them and He does what He will with them. Not you. Okay? And then the last part, which I say it's sad, but أكثرهم لا يشكرون. Most of them are not grateful. Really? That's why we're always supposed to be in a state of shukr. أشكرك يا رب. أنا شاكرا. So always remember when you end your prayer to do this small prayer. We call it a little dua. Let my mind kick in now on the fasting mode. Allahumma ashkurak ala dhikrak wa shukrak wa husni ibadatik. You're saying to Allah, I am grateful that I am able to thank you. Shukrak. Wa dhikrak. That I am able to recall and to remind myself of you. And husn ibadatik. That I will be a good, faithful servant of you. So you're supposed to say that at the end of every prayer that you finish. To remind yourself, to remember Allah, and to thank Allah, and to be a faithful servant. Don't think about any human whatsoever in your prayer. I ask you, billahi, Shaitan will put 1,000 remembrances of other people. Be they good or bad, be they happy or sad. He just wants to take a piece of you while you're praying. Don't let him. Push him away, like we do in the very beginning. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Seek refuge in Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.